You ever make a sudden decision in life and you can't believe it actually happened? Do you know for a fact that people are going to think you're crazy for buying a piece of junk, but you always wanted one, so here it is? Well, if that's the case, you might like this video. What we have here is a slightly used and abused 2005 Jeep Wrangler LJ Unlimited. So I've always been very fond of these, always wanted to own one, and boy are they freaking pricey nowadays. But this one wasn't too bad. And we're going to show you why it wasn't too bad. And the next series of videos are going to be making it drivable. Okay, so this LJ is a 4-liter with a 6-speed manual, soft top, top's in decent shape. Tires look relatively brand new. They can't have too many miles on them. It's got this Stinger front bumper, which will not be usable for us, so that will probably be getting sold. And it's got some cheap flat fenders on it that are probably going to go also. My goal with this Jeep is to make a wintertime driver for myself and retire my TJ. A little bit YouTube has seen about my TJ, you know it's a piece of junk. It's not a whole lot better, but it's something better. So what I want to do with this Jeep, I want to throw a set of factory fenders back on it. I want to throw a factory bumper back on it. Probably gonna run those tires till they're bald. Then we'll go to a slightly smaller tire and a different wheel. But we got a lot of work to do before then. So I paid, well, guess we should just be honest with this. I went to get an oil change on my EcoDiesel Gladiator, and this got traded in while I was there. And I paid a whopping $3,000 for this LJ. Now, those of you that know something about Jeeps, know something about LJs, if you have an affinity for them, know that that is incredibly cheap. So, it's got 170,000 miles on it. The interior's in pretty good shape. The body is rough. It's got this vinyl wrap on it, so I'm sure the paint is completely shot. It's got a bunch of stickers from it, North Carolina, in it, so either it was somebody's beach toy or it came from down that way at some point in its life. Considering all the sand in the frame, I would say it spent some time down south for sure. Essentially, it runs pretty good. It doesn't have the best oil pressure at idle, but, you know, there's Lucas for that. Shifts great. No issues. I drove it up and down the road here in front of the house. Does all right. But the big thing is, it's got some frame rot. But the beautiful thing is, it has frame rot where all TJs rot at. Right at the back of the transmission cross pan member or skid pan, where the rear lower control arms come up to meet the frame, it is crusty. It has been repaired on one side. So as you can see here, this has been repaired. You can get these patch sections online fairly affordably. I have never done this to a TJ. However, a friend of mine has, and he had great results with his Jeep, so I have confidence that this will hold up on this vehicle. The other thing on the passenger side of the frame is back here at the back, you got this other low spot where water, sand, stuff likes to rot these out. This won't be bad for us to just make a patch for. Luckily, everything with the upper part of the cross member is still good, so we'll be able to put a patch in here and then run a patch back out across this cross member to make sure it's in there solid. So this is the really easy fix, no problem. Luckily up here everything looks solid. It has some surface rust, but you can't beat a hole in it with a hammer, so it'll be all right. The driver's side is where our problems lie. So here on the driver's side, We're all factory mounts still here. All factory frame. This has not been patched, nor piddled, nor played with. And as you can see right here, was able to beat a hole in it here with a hammer. It cracked here. I might have took it just a little bit off-roading too. And I would assume that's where that came from. Obviously, the bottom in here is roached. This is just from this thing sitting with sand in it. Like beach sand is all I've been getting out of this thing as I've been sitting here scraping around on it. I'm going to try to clean it out real good before we do any repairs to any of this. We're solid from here forward. Can't knock a hole in the frame anywhere I beat on it with a hammer. But from here back, we're going to have to get one of those all-encompassing pre-made patch panels. Comes in here and sleeves the frame, replaces this rear lower control arm mount and everything. Same thing somebody did to the other side. We're going to have to do to this side. Clean it up and paint it real good. Basically, once we do that and fix over in the back corner of that part and put an exhaust on this thing, we should be roadworthy, and it looks like we got a pinion seal leaking too. So it's going to be a couple videos. I am effectively broke now financially. Very expensive oil change. But let me know what you think. Do you think for $3 I did okay? I mean, I know I did all right. The tires I can sell used for, you know, $600 pretty easy. I probably wouldn't end up selling them. I'd run them on something else. So I see $1,000 in value in this set of tires. They're about $300 a piece now. The top is worth something to somebody. I know hard tops for these things go for anywhere from $2,500 to $4,000. I've seen them sold. So, you know, knock $500 off a new top, and we got the value of this soft top if we have to sell it. Doors are good. They're worth something. The 6-speed transmission's fairly rare, and the spare 4-liter block just to have around for me is worth a couple $100 just to myself. So at the very least, for $3 did good for parts. But I think we're gonna fix it. Its life's not over with. We're gonna move past these frame issues and kind of put some miles on this thing and enjoy having an LJ. I'm kind of excited. Might not be the best one you ever seen, but I didn't pay 15 to 20 grand for it, and that's what I'm seeing them go for online. So when I was looking at comps. So y'all have a good one. Let me know if I really screwed up or if I've got a halfway decent Jeep after a little bit of work here. Let's be honest. The frame on this thing isn't anywhere nearly as bad as the frame on that truck was when we got it. And took a couple years, but we got this thing pretty much done now. I've got 500 miles on it. Transmission's leaking and slipping a little bit, so probably going to need to have a transmission at some point, but we're going to see if we can get... My goal is to put 50 miles a week on this all summer long. And at the end of the year, if everything's holding up halfway decent, over the winter I'll pull the transmission out of it and get a transmission put in it. So also check out the hand lettering paint that is measured and matched off the stamping of my J10 tailgate. So I think that looks pretty good. But like I said, if you've watched any videos on the channel, you have seen what we started with on this truck and what it's gotten to here. And yeah, it's kind of a piece of junk old beater truck. It ain't perfect. That doesn't have to be perfect either. It just needs to be safe enough to drive. Y'all have a good one. Thank you for watching.